What's up, YouTube? How's it going? How's it going? Alright. Alright, we got some people in here. Okay. So, I need to kind of do a live stream here to discuss something very big that just happened. It's kind of low key. A lot more low key than it really is. This would be the trade relationships, the reciprocal relationship between the Israeli government and UAE, which just was implemented between, Israel and the United States using the executive administration and Kushner, and most of it's Kushner to set up Kushner. And it's a big deal. One of the things that's really interesting to note about this this peace deal is that it is covered by all of the MSM, whether, obviously Reuters is in there on the thumbnail. It's got CNN and Fox News, obviously covering it. And world government directives such as this peace deal is obviously such a big deal, and is the primary focus of the program, things like this. And so you will never find critical coverage of it on any kind of MSM. It's one of the few things that CNN and Fox will cover in a way that is neutral. Like, they'll just cover it as a it's not neutral, they're supporting it. But what I mean is that, for instance, so CNN will use things like, they'll use quotation marks to almost passive aggressively acknowledge what's going on, but they won't be critical about it. And it's very important to see that distinction, because it's a wild departure from the business as usual. When something comes along like a UAE Israeli peace deal, because that is center stage in the program, the fucking all of the fake ass MSM drops their pants to this, okay? And that's kind of what the thumbnail is alluding to. And that's on the surface level, right? That's the surface level. The significance of this, the true significance, is that this is actually a part of esoteric prophecy, which is that in the Messianic era, there will be a fissure that erupts between the Arabs in the region, and it's going to be a permanent fissure, not like a controlled one. So like Sunni Shia, obviously that's gamed. That's a gamed, completely gamed, synthetic opposition. Even the Syrian conflict, it's synthetic. The division there is synthetic. The UAE becoming tied in directly with Israel is the fulfillment of that interpretation of prophecy. The UAE is now going to be more tied in with Israel, and as we approach the climax of this process, this is the foundation stone for building an Arab, a compromised Arab identity that is going to be money-centric, that then fights against other Arabs. And that is what this is. And in terms of that is in esoteric prophecy. I'm talking about it's from a couple of different perspectives. You could have both the Islamic prophecy can be partially fulfilled here, but particularly Jewish prophecy. Now, it hasn't manifested yet. I'm just calling it out right now as I see it. So you'll have to wait until you get the fissure exposed after UAE has been pumped full of some, energy and bribed a little bit more than they already are, and they become extremely corrupt. Then you will begin to see the fruit of this endeavor going on. The greater implication of it is that, how do I put this? All of these things that are going on between most of them involve Kushner and the Trump family, being the facade of international peace endeavors between diaspora and the Arabs. These are all fake, and they'll certainly end in catastrophe. I can only assume that the people that are really behind it understand this, because they're pretty smart cats. And, public claim that it's for peace is the actual reason. I think it's in order to fulfill prophecy. Okay, GeoCaker, I know you want to make the stream about your personal need to understand the world, but you could just go read and research and read about it, and then you could come to a determination for yourself. But instead, you want me to tell you what to think. So I'll do that. Give me a minute. Let me finish what I'm making the stream about, because it's a little bit more currently important. How's reception? It's fine. Don't give GeoCaker a hard time. I'm just playing him. I'm just fucking with him. Okay. Should be clearing up now. We're gonna wrap this up. Quick video. Okay. Now, in terms of what is going on, UAE and Israel, their inundation agreement that they're going through right now. What this is, along with the Palestinian, it delayed West Bank annexation, and that is why they're calling it a peace deal, and they're heralding it as that. And so is their little mouthpiece apparatus of bribed liars that you call the MSM, that are they're basically like henchmen by the pen. And what's really going on here is that if we want to get into prophecy, well, if we want to get into that, what we should say, what we should talk about is that Hashem hates and is against. I use hate as that's a very esoteric word there in the meaning that I intend. Hashem stands against all those who say there is shalom when there is not. And that is what this is. And because this is the Erev Rav, that is why this is the case. Now, Erev Rav, what some Geo guy wanted to know, if the Erev Rav or the Egyptians are it is a mixed multitude. Like if we're talking about the definition, right? Like I didn't come up with the word the Erev Rav. The Erev Rav is many people, but it is also Jews. You see what I mean? And the largest element of it are Jews. And we're talking not only We're talking not only Jews that have been corrupted by it multi-generationally. We're talking about people that have completely altered their identity to Judaism for a very long time, and so they have no historical connection to their past. Within that, there are elements that pretend not to be Jewish, right? But those are the most dangerous elements are the actual Jews that have been corrupted by the Erev Rav and are ideologically on board with the Erev Rav's mission. And their mission is dictated to them as a reciprocal, just to be against the Mashiach. And the Erev Rav will be the greatest enemy of the Mashiach, and they contain a large element of Amalek in the actual sense, in the spiritual sense, in the divine, in the root sense of the. Hope this helps you understand your world a little more clearly, or maybe fogs it up. Who knows? I don't know if it could get any more foggy than it already is if you're walking around with your eyes open, but.